In this final tutorial, I'm going to explain how to format short and long quotes using the settings in Microsoft Word. MLA defines short quotes as quotes that are less than 4 lines. Long quotes are 4 lines or more. You're probably familiar with the way short quotes look. Most dialogue in English is written in this format. Let's say I want to use this quote from Ender's Game. "I'm a murderer. Even when I play, Peter would be proud of me." The simplest way to include this quote would be to add a speaker tag and quote it directly as it is written. At one point in the novel, Ender thinks to himself, "I'm a murderer, right? Even when I play, Peter would be proud of me." Usually when I write dialogue, I put the full stop inside the quotation mark. But because I still need to put a citation in here, the sentence actually isn't over yet. I go ahead and put my citation. Card 65, and then I put the full stop afterwards. There are a couple things I want to point out about MLA. Anytime I need to change a quote and to add commentary, skip portions, or make the quote better fit my sentence, I need to couch my changes in brackets. Let's say, for example, I thought that the clause, "even when I play," made the quote too long or was confusing in the context of my paper. I can erase that clause and put in ellipses a ... in brackets where the quote used to be. "I am a murderer. Peter would be proud of me." Or, let's say I haven't explained in my paper who Peter is, and I think it's really important to clarify this for my audience. I can put in a positive. His maniacal brother, Peter, his maniacal brother, or Ender's maniacal brother, would be proud of me. It shows that I, the author of this piece, am adding information to the quote that wasn't in there originally. Let's say that Orson Scott Card, the author of Ender's Game, fell asleep at the typewriter and spelled the word murderer wrong. Let's get this maniacal brother out. Fell asleep at the keyboard and spelled the word murderer wrong. In this case, I copy his text exactly as it is written in my quote, but after the word murderer, I add the comment sick. That's S-I-C in brackets. Sick. To show that the mistake wasn't mine but was the original author's. The sick comment distances me from the mistake, which is really useful if you find that some of your sources are using antiquated or even offensive words to describe people. Finally, let's say I didn't find this quote in Orson Scott Card's Ender's Game, but I found it in a literary analysis about Ender's Game by Jared Levitt. To explain this, I say the original writer of the source inside of my text. Let's fix that here, all right? And so we're going to say, in Orson Scott Card's Ender's Game, Ender thinks to himself, I'm a murderer even when I play. Peter would be proud of me. And then in my works cited entry, instead of saying I got the quote from Card, which I didn't, I say I got it from Levitt, but that is Card's original piece. I say it was quoted in Levitt. And let's say page 14. Put the full stop afterwards. Now let's briefly discuss how to set up long quotations. Here is a long quote. Here's a long quote from Card saying something that's pretty homophobic and terrible. Instead of putting the quote in quotation marks, I'm going to put the colon between the speaker tag and the text. Orson Scott Card said some pretty homophobic stuff. Homophobic stuff. Then, after the speaker tag, I'm going to hit enter once, just like I'm starting a new paragraph. The only thing is, it's hard to tell whether this is a new paragraph or just a really long quote, so I'm going to hit tab on the second line here. And I'm going to hit tab one more time. This puts the entire quote in block format. The entire paragraph is indented an additional ½ inch. At the end of your quote, after the full stop, you're going to put your citation, which is usually just the author's last name and the page number. So full stop first, author's last name, and the page number. And that's how you format short and long quotes in MLA format.